Hey, what's up everybody? The sun's fading fast on us here, but we'll try to get this done in time. I'm thinking about the Bannister Effect and what is your banister? What's that thing that's holding you back from whatever it is that you want to accomplish? And most of us are familiar with the story of Roger Bannister. He was the first person to break that 4-minute mile. It was thought to be impossible for a person to run a mile in under 4 minutes. And within just a few months of him accomplishing it, we saw not only one, but multiple people also surpass his number, break through, and that's where we get this idea of glass ceilings, the thing that is holding us back and limiting us from our full potential. And so, with Roger Bannister, it's a story that we are all familiar with. He made it through on his own because everybody was telling him that it wasn't possible to break that 4-minute barrier. And so how do we do that for ourselves? It's about mindset really at the core of it, and unlimiting your beliefs is really what you need to do in order to get past whatever is holding you back, that glass ceiling, that Bannister effect for yourself. And really, it's the hardest thing in the world to try to get through whatever anybody else is telling you is impossible. But we just have to stay focused, kind of create a game plan for ourselves and go chunk by chunk and look at the small pieces as we put together the bigger puzzle for whatever it is we're trying to accomplish for ourselves. Hey, I'm just back here to continue on the conversation we were having about your glass ceiling and the Bannister effect, because I got a little bit distracted by the fading of the sunlight as well as some people walking on the trail below me. And so it didn't make perfect sense to continue on with the conversation as I was talking about it out on the trail. Just wanted to go through a few of those mindset strategies that I was trying to elucidate in terms of what we can do for ourselves when we don't have somebody ahead of us that is blazing the trail. It's much easier to break through that Bannister effect, as we know, when somebody else has already achieved the impossible ahead of us. But when it comes to ourselves being that trailblazer, it's all about mindset, really, first and foremost, and the physical performance or whatever it is. It doesn't even have to be a physical thing. It could be in terms of creativity, it could be in business, whatever it is that you're a peak performer in. It comes down a lot to mindset. So first off, I said breaking things down chunk by chunk is really about deliberate practice. We've got to trust the process in a lot of ways instead of worried about being too focused on the outcome. We've got to look at things in the smallest amount that we can work on developing and leveling our skill up. And we know that flow comes from working slightly above that skill challenge level. So even at a 4% is the sweet spot, which ties in with deliberate practice being intentionally hard. And the more that we work in that deliberate practice range that we don't necessarily see flow in, is how we can eventually drop into flow and sort of surge forward with our skill development. And that's important for the long term in getting better over time. Next thing's about grit. We just have to develop and hone our grit in order to see through the long term and persevere. It's not going to be easy, especially if what you're trying to achieve really is something that people say is impossible. We have to be able to drown out those negative ideas in our head and just keep pushing forward, which is trusting the process, practicing and continuing to practice. And then also the other thing is continuing to develop our ability to drop into flow is sort of the third component to honing that mindset around unlimiting our beliefs, because flow is where we see the impossible happen. It's where that effort becomes effortless And because of the unique neurochemical makeup of the flow state, we are able to do things that people think are impossible due to this lateral thinking, the connections between different things. It's where we've heard the stories of Laird Hamilton, saving his life by doing something he's never done before on the surfboard to get out of a massive wave that kind of became rogue on him. And the only way that he was able to do that was by surrendering to the experience and dropping into the flow state. And that comes through practice, understanding the flow triggers, developing them, also leveling up your skill and your grit to be able to keep persevering to the point where those things that should be impossible start to become a little more effortless for you. And so those are kind of the keys to mindset tying into unlimiting your beliefs and breaking through those glass ceilings for yourself. For sure, if you've got any more questions about this or any other ideas, drop them in the comments below. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on the other ways that we can work on unlimiting our beliefs to do the impossible. And of course, make sure that you like this video. If you like this content, you want to learn more about flow and these other aspects of peak performance, and be sure to subscribe to the channel. And as always, until next time, dream on and find your flow.